Good morning. Did you have a good sleep? I hope you did. It's going to be a beautiful day. And I hope I get to see you at church. But just in case you can't come yet, I am doing your story for you. Okay? Do you remember who we've been talking about? Anybody? Mean King Pharaoh. Yes. He was not very nice, was he, to the Israel people? Because he wanted to hurt the baby boys. But Moses, his mommy, protected him. And then she hid him and put him in the water with a floating basket. And his sister Miriam took care of him. And then the princess, Pharaoh's daughter, found him. And Miriam said, "Do you want me to go find a nurse for that baby to take care of him and feed him?" Because somebody needed to feed the baby. And the princess said yes. So Miriam went and she got Moses' mommy. And Moses' mommy got to take care of him and raise him in the castle. You know why? Because she took care of that baby. She did her best ever job to protect the baby that God gave her. And God rewarded her by letting her take care of that baby. And Moses got to grow up and go to school in the castle. And he stayed there and he became a man. Remember? But what happened? Mean King Pharaoh made all the Israelites work. And if they didn't work, they beat him with this whip. And remember what Moses did? He stopped that slave driver from beating the Israelite people. But when he did, he killed him. And then Moses got scared and ran away. Are you supposed to run away when you do something bad? No, you don't run away. What are you supposed to do? That's right, you say sorry. Don't run away when you do something bad. You say sorry. But Moses ran away from mean King Pharaoh. And he met a pretty girl at the well of water that he helped her. Remember, some mean men were not letting her get water for her sheep, but Moses helped them. And then he went to her house for dinner and stayed, and he worked for them. And he ended up getting married to that girl that he helped. They ended up getting married. Isn't that sweet? Miss Elizabeth had a wedding this weekend. I hope it went so. Oh, it's tonight is Miss Elizabeth's wedding. And then Moses stayed and worked for the girl's family, and he took care of the sheep. See the staff? This is what he uses to make sure the sheep stay in line and they don't go get lost, and he can help them get out of the water if they get stuck with that hook. That's called a staff. But one day Moses was taking care of the sheep and he saw something very strange. What do you think he saw? What do you think he saw that was so strange? He was walking and then all of a sudden he saw a burning bush, and it was on fire. It was on fire. It wasn't getting burned up. And Moses said, "How can that be, a bush on fire but not getting burned up?" And then he went over to look, and as he got closer, he heard, "Moses, take off your shoes. You're on holy ground." So Moses took off his shoes and he went closer. He went closer to the burning bush, and guess guess what else he heard? He heard God's voice again. Wasn't so loud and scary this time, but he heard God's voice again telling him, Moses, I want you to go and talk to mean King Pharaoh. And Moses said, why do I have to go talk to mean King Pharaoh? And God said, I want you to go talk to mean King Pharaoh and tell him that I said to let my people go. Stop making them work so hard. I want you to let my people go so that they can go and worship me, because these people were not even allowed to go to church. Can you believe that? They were not even allowed to go to church because of mean King Pharaoh. So God wanted Moses to tell mean King Pharaoh, let my people go so that they can come out in the desert and worship me. And Moses said, I'm not very good at public speaking, so I don't think I'm the right guy for the job. And God said, Moses, you go talk to Pharaoh and you tell him I said, let my people go. And Moses said, well, okay, I'm going to go, but can you send me a helper? Can you send somebody to help me? And so he sent his brother Aaron. We didn't talk about Aaron earlier. He had a little brother Aaron later on. And he sent his brother Aaron to help him and go talk to mean King Pharaoh. So next week, we're going to see what happens when Moses goes and talks to mean King Pharaoh and tells him, what did God tell him he's supposed to tell him? Do you remember? Let my people go. That's what Moses is going to tell King Pharaoh. I think he's a little bit scared because remember, he did something bad before. And then what did he do? He ran away and he did not say sorry. So now he has to go and talk to mean King Pharaoh and tell him what God said. It's very important that we tell other people about what God says, isn't it? God has told us a lot of good information that we need to tell other people about. Remember how he sent his son Jesus to die on the cross for our sins? Well, we're supposed to tell everybody about that, and that he died on the cross for our sins and he rose 3 days later from the grave. And if we tell Jesus sorry for our sins and accept him into our hearts, and we believe that he rose 3 days later, then we can go to heaven and live with him forever and ever when he comes back for us. So don't forget, when you do something bad, what are you supposed to say? That's right, you're supposed to say sorry when you do something bad. All right, so we'll see what happens next week with King Pharaoh, because God is going to give Moses some special help. Not only did he send his brother, but he's also giving him some special tools to help. So I should have told you about those, but we will run through it next week before we get into King Pharaoh and Moses' conversation. Okay, I love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.